So I know that a person should never make generalizations or assumptions, but I'm going to make one for the sake of this video. I'm going to assume that every person that has ever worked a job or has even ever applied for a job has had the dream of having a great retirement. A great retirement for some of us looks like traveling the world and having new experiences every day. While a great retirement for others may just be sitting at home and watching your kids and your grandkids grow up happily. But regardless of what your dream for retirement is, I can guarantee that the one thing it has in common is financial independence. According to Yahoo, unfortunately, 64% of Americans right now retire broke. That means that 6 out of every 10 people that watch this video that's American will retire without having enough money to live this dream that they have. And we just can't let that happen. So in this video, we're going to be giving you guys 3 strategies to set up an effective retirement and a stable retirement so you can enjoy those dreams. So stay tuned.
Hi guys, I'm Tassine.
And I'm John. Welcome to Millennial Fire, where we give you guys practical tips on reaching financial independence and early retirement. And if you guys have been enjoying our content so far, please hit that like button for us because it really helps us out. And hit the subscribe button and the notification button as well so you can keep up to date anytime we release a new video.
So before we dive into the 3 strategies to help you effectively save and invest for retirement, there are 3 things that you want to make sure you have in place. The first thing, you want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. In your pre-retirement life, your working years, 3 to 6 months of expenses is sufficient. But when you're talking about being retired, you want to have at least 1 year of expenses saved in a liquid account for retirement. The second thing that you want to make sure you have in place is to have a plan for your debt. The last thing that you want to do is to bring bad debt into retirement. So you want to make sure in your working years, pay down all non-income producing debt. And the third thing is to make sure you have a budget. And I know we've said this so many times, but it's vital to making sure that you're effectively planning the amount that you need for retirement. So there are many different apps out there. There's Mint, there's Personal Capital that can help you track your spending and help you make a budget.
YNAB is also a really good one as well.
Right, YNAB,
even though there's a fee for that.
There is a fee for that one. And also we have a video about creating a budget as well. If you guys haven't seen that, you can check that out. And we also include a manual budget sheet. It's a spreadsheet that you can manually create a budget and have a history to check, and you can look at it anywhere because we use Google Sheets for that. And if you're even more hands-on than that and you like to actually physically write your budget, just a regular old pen and paper in a book that you can keep track of will do just fine. But it's just important that you have a budget so you can effectively plan for retirement.
Another reason why a budget is so important to these strategies is that each of these strategies are based on covering your expenses throughout retirement. And you don't know what your expenses are or your expected expenses are without having a budget and knowing what lifestyle that you live at. And so get your budget, calculate how much you spend in a year, and start to plan for how much you spend in a year within each of these strategies. Let's go ahead and dive into strategy number 1. And honestly, this is the most straightforward of the 3 strategies that we're going to bring to you guys. And honestly, a lot of you guys may already be participating in this strategy without even realizing it. And this is investing in tax-advantaged accounts. Tax-advantaged accounts include things like 401ks, 401as, 403bs, IRAs, and HSA accounts. There are a lot of different options for tax-advantaged accounts. The benefits of these accounts is that you put money into it and your money grows either in stock or in bonds. And you're able to grow that money and receive the compound interest in your retirement. So how much do you need to be able to successfully utilize this strategy in your retirement? Well, we recommend you guys have 25 times your expenses in this account. And 25 times your yearly expenses in this account is what I mean to say. So, for example, if you spend $40,000 a year and you plan to spend $40,000 a year in retirement, we recommend that you have $1 million in this account. And that may seem like it's something that's overwhelming, But you got to remember that that $1 million isn't based only on the money that you put into it, but it's also based on the compound interest and the growth of those accounts. So with these accounts, the way that you're able to live off of them is that you pull out 4% a year at a time. This is based on something called the Trinity Study, and it showed that when you have 25 times your expenses saved in these accounts and invested in these accounts, that when you pull out 4% a year, your account has a 95% chance of success of lasting throughout your retirement. Realize we said 95%, and this goes back to having that emergency fund. That's why that's very crucial. Just in case you fall in that 5% and something unexpected happens, you can use your emergency fund to outweigh that balance. Let's give you guys a quick example and use us as the example. So right now we're 29 years old, and let's pretend that we have no money saved yet in any of our retirement strategies. If we live off of $40,000 a year and want to continue that lifestyle in our retirement, we're going to go over to calculator.net and throw in some numbers. So we're going to say that we want to retire at 65. So that gives us 36 years of investing. We're starting with $0. And because we want to retire with $40,000 a year, that means 40,000 times 25 is $1 million. So let's see what that looks like for us. So in this scenario, that means we need to save $560 a month to be able to retire with $1 million by the age of 65. But as you guys know, we're a bit more extreme when it comes to our retirement. So instead of saying we want to retire by the age of 65, we truly want to retire by the age of 40. So that gives us just over 10 years. So in this scenario, we would need to save $72,000 a year for 10 years in order to reach retirement by the age of 40.
Using this strategy.
The interesting thing about this is that there are people that have reached fire by doing something like this. They are able to save a tremendous sum of their yearly income, save 90% of their income, and dedicate that all toward retirement. But we want to diversify just a little bit, which brings us to our strategy number 2 that we're going to use to supplement our plan to retire by the age of 40.
So that brings us to our next strategy, which is investing in rental properties. And this is a strategy that we plan to heavily use in order to get us to our early retirement at age 40. And the way that you generate income from rental properties is buying a property and renting it out. But not all that rental income can be used to fund your retirement. You have to know exactly what your expenses are, and it kind of goes back to that budget that we were talking about. It's almost like having a budget for your rental property. So you're budgeting a certain percentage of every rental income that you receive every month to allocate towards big repairs, little repairs, vacancy, taxes, insurance. And these are expenses that you're going to have for the life of owning that property, even after the mortgage is already paid off. And so whatever you have left over after all your expenses are paid, this is called cash flow. And so if $40,000 is the expenses that you have, and you plan to have in retirement, then that would mean you would need to generate $3,333 per month in cash flow to fund your retirement. And so whether that is an apartment complex that you have and you're able to receive this amount of cash flow every month, or whether it's having 10 single family homes that generate $333 of cash flow every month, whatever it is, this is the number that you have to receive in cash flow in order to successfully retire from rental properties.
And something that's important to note with this strategy is the amount that's needed to retire versus the first strategy. In the first strategy, you needed 25 times your expenses. In this strategy, it's a bit different. You only need your properties to generate 1 time your annual expenses. And that's the base, of course. You want to generate more than that in case things go wrong. And of course, like we said before, please have an emergency account. So in this case, if we're aiming for $40,000 and we can get our rental properties to consistently produce $40,000 of cash flow throughout the year, then you've reached financial independence. So strategy number 3 is one that's super, super popular right now, and that's becoming an entrepreneur. So what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is simply someone that starts their own business. But starting your own business doesn't guarantee success, so we want to clear up a few misconceptions about being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you automatically start to make more money quickly. It doesn't mean that you work less. When you start out being an entrepreneur, there's actually a saying that says you leave a 40-hour-a-week job to willingly work for yourself for 80 hours a week. And another thing is that just because you start a business doesn't guarantee you to be successful. According to Forbes, about 50% of all small businesses fail in the first 5 years. So if this is going to be the route you choose, please make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row and that you're prepared in this path to be successful. So how exactly do you retire as an entrepreneur? This is also a big task because you can go and start a business. I can go on the Florida website right now, start a business in 2 minutes for $100 and say I'm an entrepreneur. But to have a business that's successful for retirement, there are a few requirements. Your business has to be self-sustainable. What this means is that your business has to be able to function without you being there to do the work. So let's say I have a lawn cutting business, and I mow lawns and I make $40,000 a year. Yes, I can make $40,000 a year up until the date of my retirement. But if I'm depending on this business solely for my retirement, the day I stop mowing lawns is the day I stop making money. So what I would need to do is hire people to mow those lawns for me and take a percentage of the money that they make. And that's the way that you can be successful as an entrepreneur.
And so with such a little investment of $100, you can start a business, and that could help catapult you to your dream of retiring by 40 or 35 or even 65, whatever your age is. These are all strategies that you can use individually or use together to hit your goal.
So these are all of the strategies, and I know we covered a lot of information very quickly, but if you stay tuned to our channel or look at some of our previous videos, we promise that we're going to go deep into detail into each one of these strategies individually, how to invest in the accounts, all the different types of accounts, the real estate, and also how to be an entrepreneur successfully. But if you don't take anything else from the video, please take this. I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how much do I have saved for my retirement today? If the answer is 0 and you haven't had any plans to start, please start today. There are so many people that make it to retirement and they can't live the life that they've worked so hard for so many years. So regardless of whether you're retiring at 40 or at 65, we want you guys to retire in financial independence. That's one of the reasons why we started this channel. We've seen people struggle in their retirement, and we want to educate people so they can make the right decisions at the right time while they have time. So please do that for us.
And in starting to invest towards your retirement, it may be starting a debt payoff plan. It may not necessarily be investing into any of these 3 strategies we talk about, but it may be putting into place those 3 things that we told you need to put into place before investing into retirement. So if you haven't started an emergency fund yet, please start that today. And if you have debt, please start paying down, knock it out so you can start saving for retirement, investing for retirement. And if you haven't started a budget, please start one today.
And if you guys need any help with this, we are serious when we say this. Reach out to us and we'll try our best to help get you on the right track. But this video is starting to get really long at this point, so we're going to let you guys go. But if you've stayed here this long, we're going to assume that you enjoyed this video.
And we thank you for staying so long. And we just ask that you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. And if you know anybody that could benefit from this information, please share it. Our passion is to have everyone reach financial independence at a point in their life that they want to. So for us, it's 40. For other people, it might be 65. But whenever that age is, we just want you guys to be prepared when you get there and to be able to enjoy your life and not have to worry because you have all the money you need to live comfortably.
Well, until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.